Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Keep Pushin with Sujit K. Reddy. I'm your host, Sujit K. Reddy, and today on the episode, we are going to talk about how you can be unstoppable with my guest, Unstoppable Tracy. I'm excited about this. I've known her for a while. We met at a speaking event, and when we come back, we will talk to her. See you soon. Hey everyone, we're back. And so we are back with Unstoppable Tracy. Welcome, Tracy.
Thank you.
Awesome to have you. Awesome to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here.
Awesome. Thank you. So let's get right into it. I know a lot about you, but there are some things I don't know about you, and so I kind of wanted to start with that, if that's okay. So,
as long as it's clean.
Oh yeah, it'll be clean for sure. So tell us the audience, and the audience, as you know, is international. So we're affecting lives around the world.
Wow.
So tell us about your background, your growing up, and where you grew up, and how things were for you as a person with challenges, and how things were as a child.
You know, so many of the kids that were in my age bracket, I know were given up for adoption. Like, I'm really lucky that my parents decided to keep me.
Right.
And then everyone on my street, many people lived from other countries that had settled in Toronto. And why that was relevant is because they were like family. Our Christmases, our Hanukkahs, our Eids, like all of the relevant international holidays around the world, because I grew up in Scarborough, a very multicultural place. We celebrated together.
Yes.
So these people felt like my cousins.
Nice.
And were family.
Great.
And we were all around the same age.
Great.
Most people on the street had two kids that were between 7 and 9. And when it was time to go to kindergarten, we were a bunch of us going together.
Sweet.
But that first day, we're walking up to the school, and the administrator comes out and says, wait. And they were saying, I'm sorry. You can't come here. Tracy can't come here. And so my mom's like, how come? And so they were saying, well, Tracy's got to be able to go to the washroom by herself, and she's got to get herself ready for recess. And when I was in school a couple years ago, there weren't educational assistants or personal support workers. And so the principal was saying that there's 30 kids to one teacher.
Right.
So it made a lot of sense.
Right. Absolutely.
How does one teacher manage a girl with no arms and no legs?
Right.
So my mom listened, but she knew that I was independent. She knew I was fine.
Right.
And so she just counteroffered.
Yes.
She really listened, and she said, how about we just try Tracy for 1 week? And so that was enough of a security blanket for them to agree.
Right.
And, and if it didn't work out, we would go to another school a little bit later.
Okay.
So the big deal was going to be that I got outside for recess independently.
Right.
And my mom got on her knees, and she held my arms, and I still feel her fingers in my arms.
Right.
And she said, Tracy, it's really important that everybody's included at recess, including you. And I'm like, okay, Mom. So the principal at recess time, he raced outside to see if I was there.
Right.
And I wasn't.
Oh.
I never made it out there.
Right.
And he waited for 15 minutes, and I never made it outside. So he runs inside after recess to find out what happened from the teacher. And he said, did Tracy not tie her shoelaces? What happened? And the teacher said, she was the first one ready for recess. But her little friend couldn't tie her shoelaces. Well, it turns out none of the kids could tie their shoelaces.
Wow.
And apparently I was bound and determined that everybody was included, because that's what my mom had said. So I was busy tying everybody's shoelaces.
That's fantastic.
And that's why I never got outside for recess.
That's a fantastic story. Wow. Thank you for that.
It was great. It was like, it was a really good early lesson. You know what no means to me is KNOW.
Cheers.
It's just no. No doesn't mean no, go.
Right.
No means it just don't know.
Right.
And that's how you hear no's. You just sort of, okay, what don't they know?
Right. Fantastic. So, wow. You've given me a lot to think about now. So, tell me about the very first time, other than that one, where you felt that you were unstoppable, that you could do anything.
Anything. I remember I was getting some new legs in a waiting room, and this college student, an 18-year-old, comes in, and she's all excited, and she discovered that in Canada there was no sailing anywhere, any province, for people with disabilities in the 80s.
Okay.
And so she had a school project, and she did it on paper, but she wanted to turn it into a reality.
Cool.
And so she asked them, I want to do a sailing school for kids with disabilities, and they said, I'm sorry, we can't give you the list because it's privacy. So I was sitting there, and I'm like, I bummed over to her because they have my legs, and I'm like, I'll do it. So I think the universe kind of sets you up for success.
Absolutely.
If you listen for it and you seize that opportunity. And so I got to go sailing with her.
Nice.
But it was a lot of able-bodied kids. And because I swim with my legs off, I sail with my legs off to be safe.
Right.
You have to pass the swim test, and I could swim 2 lengths of a pool.
Okay.
And I wore my life jacket all done up like everybody. Yeah. But I kept falling out of the boat. But I knew from the second I saw her in that waiting room that I was going to sail.
Good for you.
And so I kept falling out of the boat, but I just kept climbing back in the boat.
Good stuff.
And you know, what really worked for me, and it was a really good lesson, that was like a little bit older, about 11 or so, that you just believe you're capable. Whether you're falling out of the boat or not, I just knew I would get sailing. And she believed I was capable. And all the other kids, they all got their white sail level 1. And I didn't. Right? I got a paper fish because I spent more time swimming with the fish. But I went back, right? I went back. And I got the next year I caught up. I got 1 and I got 2 like everybody.
Cool.
But unlike everybody, I got my white sail level 3 and I got my white sail level 4.
Cool, fantastic.
And then now I'm a World Cup sailor.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we're having this interview, either during the interview or after the interview, you'll see video and pictures of Tracy doing Tracy. Tracy being unstoppable in pictures and video. So there it is. So you'll see that for sure. And we'll get into how you can keep in touch with Unstoppable Tracy later on. So Tracy, let's one incident that I was one event or thing in your life that you've done that really caught my attention was your time in Kenya.
Oh.
Tell us about your time in Kenya, what you did there, and what your experiences were, and what you learned from being in another country other than Canada, where you were grown up in Scarborough. And tell us the differences between here and Kenya for a person with any challenge or disability.
Yes. And it was actually Uganda.
Oh, Uganda. Sorry.
That's okay. Totally.
Yeah.
I completely understand.
Yeah.
And I've been really lucky. Like, there's Nepal and Mexico and teaching in a lot of developing countries. But in Uganda, people were so unbelievably humble. You know, people had nothing. They ate once a day. They ate the same thing every day. It was this white, not even as decent looking as porridge, but kind of a consistency of porridge. And they had nothing. Right. And these kids, it was one school, most of their parents were passed from all the wars with Tombe, and which is the main city, and with all of just the war and the strife that was going on.
Right.
And they traveled from many villages around, and the village would choose one child to go to school. And so this school was full of kids that were away from their village and didn't have any parents. And it was my birthday while I was there.
Awesome.
And all these kids, hundreds of these kids, they didn't even have like a penny, some of them. And they put together everything they had, and they bought me this wooden fish as a birthday present. And I mean, they could have made me a wooden fish, I'm sure. but it was like, it was important that it was a bought gift. And I was so overwhelmed by the generosity.
Wow.
And they didn't care that I was a 4-way amputee. You know, what they cared about, they kept saying, Munu, Munu, which is whitey, whitey. I was so north in Uganda that they hadn't seen someone and so they'd seen lots of amputees, but they hadn't seen lots of white people.
Fair enough.
Because of the war. So having a disability wasn't such a big issue. Okay. But it's, you know, it's wonderful traveling with a disability. Like when I was in Nepal, people were had a filter with tourists. But because I was happy and energetic, they figured I must be on my last life. How could I have no arms and no legs and be so positive? So they felt like I embraced the culture of Buddhism by not being attached to my limbs, for example, or material things. Whereas I know I don't need my arms. Like I left my legs in Kathmandu and climbed the Himalayas. When I taught in Uganda, I had my legs off on a lot. I can't do without my spatula.
Right here.
This is how I write and eat and do everything. But I don't need my legs for anything.
Right.
Except for Toronto. Like I need them to live in the city and to work at Air Canada and to work at Shoppers Drug Mart. I need to be in legs for the corporate world. Or to buy a cup of tea. You know, I go to Tim Hortons in a wheelchair and they ask me, I love my tea. This is my one big vice. And I'll ask for an extra large steep tea. And then they'll ask the person behind me, what does she want in her tea?
Really?
But if I have my legs on, sometimes, 50% of the time, they'll talk to me.
Yeah, I've experienced stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
So I know where you're coming from with that.
But legs don't matter in developing countries. I taught in Mexico, and there were no stairs. It was the most accessible for me. Trying to teach here in Canada, I don't know which school is going to be accessible or not for substitute teaching. But in Mexico, I had no problem. There were no doors, no stairs, no windows.
Fantastic. You've had a really, really incredible year.
Yes!
And again, I mean, I Facebook stalk you and I Instagram stalk you and all this stuff.
Yep. Did you hear that? You're all my witness. Yeah.
Because we're such good friends. And you've had a really incredible year of, again, traveling and meeting people.
Yes.
And so I'm just in awe of everything you do. And I tell you that all the time. I want to be you, is what I tell you.
Mutual. I want to be a TV show host. We're like win-win.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Out of all of the people, the famous people that you've met this year, who is the most memorable and why?
That's a tough. I didn't know who I was going to pick because it's been so lucky, right?
Yeah.
James Fonda, John Travolta, Mel Gibson.
There it is. See?
How do I pick?
Yeah, absolutely.
But the most memorable, clearly, hands down, Charlie Sheen.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh.
And why is that?
So I was sharing a stage, and speakers were allowed the front row of this massive audience. We were in LA. We were in Disney Hotel.
Okay.
And so speakers that were sharing the stage were in front row, and Charlie Sheen's on the stage.
Okay.
And JT Fox is the MC.
Sure.
And he's talking to Charlie Sheen like we're talking, and JT says, Charlie, so, you know, what did you do after you lost this incredible show? 2.5 Men, millions of dollars. Yeah. How did you overcome that?
Yeah.
And Charlie sort of goes, And he hums out into the audience, and he catches a glimmer of my artificial legs.
Okay.
And he's like, in the middle of answering this question, and he's like, do you see her legs? Oh my gosh. And JT says, hello, I'm over here, right? The MC is saying to Charlie. And then I'm smiling and gesturing to JT, the MC.
Yeah.
And Charlie's like, to the MC, and he's like, Tracy, you said her name's Tracy? And he's like, yeah, her name's Tracy. I'm up here, though. You're interviewing with me, remember? And Charlie's like, what happened?
Oh,
and he asks me what happened to my legs.
How many people in the room?
There's like 2,500 people in the audience.
Fantastic.
And I'm not mic'd, right? I'm sitting in the audience, front row, but I'm sitting in the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what happened from there?
from there, so I said, oh, my legs are, I was born this way, but JT Fox got me here.
Yeah.
And he kept asking me questions from the stage. So afterwards, I'm on the side of the room and I'm swarmed by hundreds. Oh my gosh, I can't believe JT Fox, or not JT Fox, I can't believe Charlie asked you that. Some people were laughing, some were saying how cool that was, but many were really empathetic. Like, how did you feel when he was doing that that?
Yeah.
Like, it's cool he singled you out, but not that way.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, these bodyguards come running by, and there's like a circle around Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
And Charlie, like, kind of breaks the security circle, and he sees me again, and he comes up to me, and he grabs my head, and he plants a big wet kiss.
Nice.
And he's like, I thought I had problems. I got nothing to complain about after meeting you. And then the security and guards and stuff kind of dragged him away, and he was like this, and I'm like this with him, and I'm like, that's right. Pull it together, right? And I'm like, I was pointing at him, but the picture that's caught is like, I'm like this with him, and he's like this with me, and it's really funny.
Yeah. Wow, awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
But he was a kind man.
Cool.
Like he gave away a free tie, and he signed a free book, and it was a mega success conference. So it was about how to make money.
Cool.
So the MC was like, you don't give that away for free. Do you know how much money you could sell that tie for signed? And he's like, watch this. And he threw it out to the audience to piss off the MC. It was so funny. Excuse my language.
That's all right. So now, what's next for Unstoppable Tracy? What's you've done all this stuff, and you've had an incredible year this year.
Yes.
And you've had an incredible time the time I've known you.
Yes.
And I know that you've got stuff going on for the future.
Yes.
One of the things I know that is happening and has happened as of this weekend.
Yes.
Is your book.
Yes.
How about you show the audience your book? Your brand new, hot off the press book.
They're great.
Right here.
I can't believe it.
I haven't read it yet, obviously.
What?
You just...
Since last night?
But I will be reading this, and everything that I've learned from Tracy to date is all in this book. So I know a lot about Tracy, as I said, and a lot about what she speaks about, because we're both speakers, and a lot of that is in this book. And so I suggest to anybody out there, grab a copy of this book. I mean it. We'll get into where you can get a copy of the book and how you can contact Tracy in the next segment. But I'm honored that you've been on the show.
Thank you.
You're an amazing human being. I look forward to connecting and collaborating with you in the coming year and years. It's going to be awesome. So we'll be right back, and stay tuned. So we're back, everybody, and we're back again with Unstoppable Tracy. So Tracy, for people to get a hold of you on social media, you're all over all the different social media channels. You look her up, Unstoppable Tracy. She's all over. But for people to get a copy of your book,
yes,
where do they go? What do they do?
I'm happy to give viewers a free copy of my book. Wow. People can have a free download of the book. I can email it very easily to you. So if you go to unstoppableyoubook.ca, unstoppableyoubook.ca, all one word.
Y-O-U.
And you share your email. And I will send you a free download of the book, and I'll include all my social media links.
Fantastic.
Yes, it'd be my pleasure. Get awareness out there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So again, guys, it was a great episode. Thank you for watching. Please continue to watch here on the Disability Channel, either through the website or on YouTube. See you soon. Bye.